Welcome to this week's episode of the Coach's Corner on the Vanguard Athletics Podcast Network. My name is Jeff Melton, and today I'm joined by Michael Matossian. So, Michael, this is your first time jumping on the podcast, filling in for Mike Teague, our usual co-host. So why don't you just give our listeners at home a little breakdown of who you are, how long you've been working at Vanguard, and kind of the role you fill here within Vanguard Athletics.
Awesome. I'm a sports information and event coordinator. I work under Jeff. I just got hired on about 5 weeks ago. So I'm just learning everything, get to know the culture of Vanguard, and really just get to be exposed to some amazing people and some amazing opportunities doing anything from podcasts like this to working our games and seeing our amazing athletes perform at a very high level.
So just give us a little background on your experience with sports and kind of through college when you were at Cal State Fullerton and kind of all the ins and outs of things you've learned already.
Awesome. So I grew up playing sports, just local rec sports. I played a couple sports in high school, did basketball, soccer, and wasn't the best athlete, so nothing really came of that, but got a chance to really dive into writing, was able to use my gifts for that, and just continued to love sports and the atmosphere and all the stuff that comes with that. So I was really able to just take that and kind of just continue to develop the gifts that God has given me, and really take that and develop that in writing or just all the other stuff that I do on the website here or game management, and just being able to learn so much and grow so much.
That's awesome.
So, Jeff, you had a chance to sit down with our new softball coach, Coach Amber Freeman. What was your biggest takeaway from your discussion with her earlier?
One of the things that I just really appreciate about Amber is she's not afraid to be vocal about her expectations and holding people to a high standard. She came recently from, a high level at Arizona State, was a Pac-12 Player of the Year. Mm-hmm. So, she's done it athletically at the highest level, so she knows what it takes to get it done. So she's bringing that down to our level at the NAIA, which can be super competitive. We have a great program. We've had a lot of success over the years. Mm-hmm. So it's really great to see her have that passion for playing softball the right way, but even more so her heart behind things and wanting to develop young women for Christ, mm-hmm. and develop them for life after softball, because there's not really professional leagues for softball, so these girls' careers are gonna end when they graduate, mm-hmm. here, but what they're learning at Vanguard and what they are experiencing and how they're growing both, within themselves and spiritually and academically and all of that is really what's going to propel them forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. So let's go ahead and just jump right into that conversation that you had with Amber Freeman.
Welcome in, Amber Freeman, the Lions softball coach. You have been on campus about 5 months now. So just kind of tell us about the whirlwind of emotions and, where you're kind of at in your heart and your head right now.
It's been pretty crazy to say the least since getting hired here, but it's been amazing. It's been so cool to meet all the staff and then meet every single person on my team because I had no idea who they were. And so I feel like things have been moving really fast and at a quick pace, but I'm loving every minute. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. This place is super special, and I'm just enjoying my time here.
What do you think makes Vanguard different from what you've experienced so far? What makes this place special, both for athletes coming in, but also just the average student and fan and things like that?
Coming from a big D1 at Arizona State, there's so many people on campus that you would never meet. And what I think is cool about this place is you get to meet everybody. And so, knowing all the coaches to knowing different student athletes on different teams, that is something that really wouldn't happen at a huge university. And so you really get that family feel, that intimate feel, which I think is so cool.
So speaking of Arizona State, kind of tell us about your experience there, and don't be too humble here. Kind of tell us about all the cool things, all the awards and things that you would won during your time with the Sun Devils.
I love ASU. I feel like I played under one of the best coaches ever, Clint Myers, and he taught me so much, not only about softball, but about life. And he really pushed me from day one, stepping on campus, to helping me achieve my goals. And eventually, he's one of the reasons why I am a coach today. He inspired me that much. And yeah, my time at ASU was amazing. I was able to be named an All-American 3 times, an academic All-American twice, which is something that means a lot to my mom. She was the one that was always pushing me in school. But I mean, Pac-12 Player of the Year 1 year, and to have achieved all that in one of the best conferences in the nation was super, really, really, really cool.
That's really cool. So, in addition to being the head softball coach here, you actually own your own training facility and your own travel ball team. How do you think those experiences kind of shaped and molded you for what you're currently doing here at Vanguard?
What's funny is I never thought I would coach. And so, opening up my own facility really helped me realize that, wow, I do love teaching softball. I do love coaching. I do love helping to shape the youth. And so also the business side has prepared me for the admin stuff that I do here, as far as like travel and budgeting and stuff. So I feel like this path was really created for me, and that has really helped me with taking on this position.
That's really awesome. So as we transition kind of to Vanguard softball here, when you are laying out your vision for what you want your program to be like, how you want it to reflect the university and your core values, what are the kind of the tenets you want to speak about what Vanguard softball is?
When people think of Vanguard softball, I want them to think of hardworking women. I want them to think of competitive women, and I want them to think about good people. And so my vision is to shape these women for life and to make them as well-rounded as possible. It's more than just wins and losses for me, because I played at every level, even professionally, and I didn't make $1 million. So I know that to be successful in life, you really have to get those qualities of working hard, being driven. And so that's what I want to instill in them for later in life after softball.
That's cool. So what would you say it's like to be coached by you, kind of on the day in, day out basis?
You are going to be pushed every single day. And I have a really high standard for my team, and I push them to meet that standard every single day. Do I think they're going to be perfect? No, but I'm going to get on them every single day until they get it right. But it's out of love, and I would be doing them a disservice if I didn't get on them and push them to be better.
What, as you kind of think about all the different facets of softball and all the different ways to play it, loading up on pitching, going for power hitting, trying to just get singles, move runners around and things like that. What would you say is kind of your style of, this is how in my perfect world softball is played?
In my perfect world, my team would be able to scramble the game. So, fast runners, hitting in the gaps, because our field is huge. Mm-hmm. So having power hitters really doesn't help us that much because the fence is so far back. But I want people to be able to, move runners, be smart softball players, understand what they're doing, understanding the situation, knowing the approach. So it's more than just hitting the ball over the fence for me.
So as you've kind of spent these first couple months of the new academic year, getting to know your team, spending time with them, having your fall practices, fall ball games, and things like that, what surprised you most about not only the talent of the returning players, but kind of the personalities and how that's all mixing together?
This is the first time I've seen a team with not one ego. And It's cool to see seniors doing things that maybe a freshman should do and not blinking. Mm-hmm. And, everyone on this team is equal. No one is looked at being on a different level. And so they're just really one big family, and they enjoy being around each other. And honestly, that's super rare, especially in a women's sport where you don't have drama and things like that going on. So I just really appreciate how much fun they have together, even at practice, and how they just really enjoy being around one another.
So, yeah, we have, a lot of talent returning. GSAC Pitcher of the Year, Vanessa Dwyer, a couple starters are still in there. We did lose a big senior class last year. We lost 6 who all saw significant minutes. How do you see that kind of shaping out? I mean, do you still see some of our top players, pushing for those all-conference, Player of the Year nominations at the end?
Definitely. I mean, my 2 senior pitchers, Vanessa Dwyer and Courtney Thornhill, they're amazing. Belle Herrera is a stud. I feel like they're going to, step right in, take the lead, and lead us to where we need to go.
Perfect. So then as we kind of mix in our incoming, our freshmen, recruits to the mix and things like that, what are you seeing from the incoming players that you think can really, push us forward? We've been blessed to win 3 straight conference titles. Last year we made it to the World Series, been in the postseason, 3 straight years, things like that. So how are they going to mix in and, keep pushing us up that trajectory?
I think the freshmen are coming in and buying in, which is so awesome. And so I think they're going to do a great job. This year is going to be filled with learning for them, especially having those big-time players returning. I think having those people in front set a great example for them to come and learn from them and continue to grow within the program. But we do have one freshman who I think is going to make an impact this year, Hannah Corrado. She is amazing. I could tell she's a lifelong learner, and she is able to apply things right away. So I'm really excited to see what these freshmen do this year.
That's really cool. Kind of stepping back, looking at your program from, a 1,000-foot view almost. How do you define success? There's an old saying kind of around Vanguard that if they're keeping score, we want to win, but the wins aren't everything. So how do you, coach your girls up to define success, especially as you move throughout a season, move out throughout careers and things like that?
I think that it's more than just softball, and I've made that really clear to them that it's about everything. And so if they're, they're graduating and, they're setting themselves up for life after, that is success to me. And also, keeping their faith and their family first as well.
Well, that is a great intro to Amber Freeman. We're thrilled that you were able to stop by and visit with us. We look forward to you guys going and getting started right around the end of January, right? First game. And then we'll be pushing through, working on a stacked conference right now. It's been a grind the last few years with a bunch of schools. There's a lot of turnover in head coaches and things like that in our conference. So we look forward to seeing you out there for your first collegiate season.
Thank you.
All right, so welcome back. I'm really glad that we got a chance to provide a little insight into Amber and her heart, and I'm very excited to see her and how she's going to get her girls to perform in her first season on the sidelines, which will begin this February. I want to take the time to thank you guys for listening. You can view all our podcast feeds on SoundCloud, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, and Google Play. Go ahead and subscribe and leave a rating on the podcast. It will help us out a ton, and make sure to tell your friends and family. Thanks for listening.